Hello and welcome to this e-learning series for the subject of computer science class 12th. Now we will be covering unit number 2, that is computer networks. In this video lesson series we will contract our discussion as per your syllabus. So before starting this unit you must go through the points that are mentioned in this unit, and we will be covering the points as per your syllabus. Because this network in itself, it is a vast area, and if we start discussing a single topic in detail, it will take a long time. So as per your curriculum, we will cover all the points in short and brief, so that you can get the gist of that topic. Okay, so let's start this unit. In this unit we will be covering the evolution of networking, how the network concept started. Then we will focus on switching techniques. Then we will cover data communication terminologies, transmission media, network devices, network topologies and types, network protocol, mobile telecommunication technologies, network security concepts, web services and e-commerce services. To begin with, we are starting with evolution of networking. So in the history of mankind, networking in any form has always given better results. So the result of a single effort is that not that much fruitful than that of a group. So networking has always given better results, and it also has a better utilization of the resources available. Connections among the humans make human network, and connections among computers make computer network. So you must know the definition of computer network. So a computer network is a collection of interconnected autonomous devices used for resource sharing. The first thing is in network is that the devices must be interconnected. They must be connected together. All the devices must be connected with each other, and these devices must be autonomous. Autonomous means a device is called autonomous when it can work on its own. If it is not dependent on any other device for its working, then it is called autonomous. Okay, so two important terms in this definition is interconnected and autonomous. Okay, and the main use of networking is sharing of resources. Now we come to the first network established, that was ARPANET, Advanced Research Project Agency Network. This was the first network, and it was the basis of the internet that we are seeing in this time. In 1969, the first network became a reality with the interconnection of 4 university computers. The initial purpose was to communicate with and share computer resources among mainly scientific users at the connected institutions. So the original goal for establishing a network was to share the researches done at those 4 university campuses. In 1980, ARPANET was upgraded to a more advanced network that was called NSFNet. It was a network of scientific and academic computers. In 1995, NSFNet in turn began a phased withdrawal to turn the backbone of the internet. And the ARPANET was officially decommissioned in 1990. From there, the term internet came into place. Okay, so this was a brief introduction about the first network, that is called ARPANET. In this unit, you will be asked to expand these abbreviations. So each and every abbreviation you see in this and in these video lessons related to this unit, you must know the expansion of them and you must remember them also. Okay. The next term here is internet. You all know about it. The internet is the global system of interconnected computer networks used to communicate between networks and devices. So, internet can be considered as a network of networks. It is a network of networks that consists of private, public, academic, business and government network of local to global scope, linked by a broad array of electronic, wireless and optical networking technologies. Okay, so this was about internet. Now we come to the next term, that is switching. What is switching? Switching is the way of sending data across the network. Okay, so it is the process of forwarding data from the origin system to the destination system in a network. How the data will be sent across the network, that is called switching. There are three types of switching: circuit switching, message switching, packet switching. Okay. Circuit switching, when two nodes communicate with each other over a dedicated communication path, it is called circuit switching. Here dedicated word is very important. In circuit switching, to transfer the data, circuit must be established so that the data transfer can take place. It means that there must be a physical connection between the sender and the receiver in this circuit switching. Circuit switching was originally designed for voice applications. Telephone is the best suitable example of circuit switching. Nowadays also, if you have a landline, then the substation in your city, suppose it is like BSNL, it uses circuit switching while it transfers your call to your destination number. When you dial a number, there is a physical connection that is established between your number and the receiver's number. Nowadays the circuit switching is automated. Previously it was manual. So base thing of circuit switching is there must be a physical path between the sender and the receiver. Next we have message switching. Message switching is a switching technique in which a message is transferred as a complete unit and routed through intermediate nodes at which it is stored and forwarded. Okay, from the origin to the destination, there are several message centers in between where your message as a complete unit is stored and then it is forwarded to the next station. Okay, there is no establishment of a dedicated path between the sender and receiver. Each and every node stores the entire message and then forward it to the next node. Please note this line, that each and every node, that means your message centers, they store the entire message being sent and then forward it to the next node. This type of network is known as store and forward network. So here each message center will store the message being sent and then it will forward it to the next station. And this process continues until that message is delivered to the destination system. Now we have packet switching. Here the entire message is broken down into smaller chunks. Those are called packets. Okay, so a large message will be divided into smaller packets. The switching information is added in the header of each packet, and that packet is transmitted independently. Okay, so if you have a large message and suppose your message is now divided into 5 packets, so each packet will be having a stamp of its origin and destination, and all those 5 packets may travel through a single path, or all of them may travel through different paths. Then at the receiver end, they are assembled as per their numbering, and then the complete message is given to the destination system. The internet uses packet switching technique. Okay, so here the message is not treated as a single unit. The entire message is broken into smaller chunks. Those are called packets, and each packet is treated independently. Depending upon the network situation, network condition, the load on the network, all the packets may or may not travel to the destination through the same path. It can be same path for all those packets, or it can be different paths for all the packets. So at the destination end, the destination computer, it assembles all the packets and it waits for all the packets to arrive. It may happen that the last packet arrives first, or the first packet arrives at the last. So the destination system waits for all the messages to come, and then it arranges them as per their sequence, and then it delivers that entire message to the user. Okay, so in internet we use packet switching. I think these switching techniques are clear to you. There can be a question on this switching techniques. Now let us see some data communication terms. The first term is channel. Channel in networking refers to the medium through which the data signal travels. It can be wired or wireless. Okay, wired or guided, wireless or unguided media. In wired channel, the data signal follows a fixed path, whereas in wireless, data signal do not follow a fixed path. Suppose, let us take example of your electric wiring in your home. The electricity will follow the path in which the wires have been laid while constructing the building. It will not follow another path. Okay, whereas the wireless signals, suppose in your Wi-Fi, they do not follow a particular fixed path, because they travel through air, and depending upon the air quality or air speed, they may follow different path. The next term is bandwidth. You have used these terms while you are discussing about the network speed. So bandwidth is measured as the amount of data that can be transferred from one point to another within a network in a specific amount of time. Okay, so the data transferred in a specific amount of time is called bandwidth. Bandwidth is expressed as a bit rate and measured in bits per second. Okay, BPS. Bits per second, please note that B is small. If it is byte, then B will be capital. So the higher data transfer rates are measured in kbps, mbps, gbps, tbps. Okay, you know these conversion charts. Now let us see the transmission media. Computer networks are formed when the computers are connected with one another. The connecting among the hosts are established through specific communication media. Okay, so when the computers are connected with one another, there must be a medium in between through which the data will be transferred. So the transmission media is of two types. First one, guided or wired media. Second one is unguided or wireless media. The first one, that is guided or wired media, it includes different type of cables. So the first type of cable is twisted pair cable, TPC. So it is a pair of insulated wires that are twisted together to improve electromagnetic capability and to reduce noise from outside sources. Okay, here the insulated wires are twisted, okay, to improve the electromagnetic capability and noise reduction. These are available in various forms like Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5 and Cat 6. Here the word CAT, that is category. Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, 4, 5 and 6. All these categories are defined as per the speed of that channel. Cat 1 has the slowest speed and Cat 6 has the highest speed. So in your labs, you will be having either Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable. So if you have an interconnect connection in your home or at your school, so you can check those cables. Those will be twisted pair and you can read the literature written on that cable. It will be mentioned, the category of that wire will be mentioned on that literature printed on that cable. Second type of wired media is coaxial cable. These cables you have seen in the era of the television cable network. Okay, do you remember that wire that was having a copper wire inside it and coverage, a lot of cover on it with a mesh, and at the top it was having a black plastic cover. So that is a coaxial cable. Coaxial cable consists of a solid wire core surrounded by one or more foil or wire shields, each separated by some kind of plastic insulator. These coaxial cable can be categorized as thick net and thin net. Next category of wired media is optical fiber cable. You must have seen those cables in your cities. They are used nowadays in the communication or mobiles. It consists of a bundle of glass threads, each of which is capable of transmitting messages modulated onto light waves. Okay, here the glass strands, that is called fiber optic, those carry light signals because the speed of light signal is very fast. So using that quality, your data is transmitted by modulating it onto the light waves. They are very thin. Okay. These optical fiber cables can be categorized as single node and multi-node. So these three are the types of wired media. Depending upon the speed and the distance, you have to choose one of them. The optical fiber cable uses the concept of total internal reflection and it uses the light signals. So the speed is very fast. So it will be used when you have to communicate through long distances. It is very fast, but the establishment cost is more compared to other two. Okay, so you must consider the speed requirement, the distance between the systems, and your budget. Okay, now see, in these diagrams you can see that these three types of wired media. The first one is showing the twisted pair cable. Okay, it is shielded twisted pair cable, STP. This is unshielded twisted pair, UTP. You can see an extra shield over these wires. So this is STP and this is UTP. Okay, so this type of wire is a bit costly due to this insulation. So these pairs are twisted to reduce the electromagnetic effect and to reduce the outer noise. Okay, so that's why this is called twisted pair cable. The cable pairs have been twisted. Now this is the second type of cable, that is called coaxial cable. In the center you have the conductor, then you have dielectric, then conducting shield and the outer jacket. Okay, and this is the optical fiber cable. The fiber core which is very thin, thinner than your hair. Then it is covered with lots of cladding and coatings, because this fiber core is very thin in microns. Okay, that's why you have to cover it with various claddings and coatings. Clear? Very good. Let's move forward. Now let us see the second type of media, that is unguided or wireless media. Here air is used as media through which information is transmitted using electromagnetic waves. The first one is infrared. Infrared are low frequency waves used for short distance communication, as they cannot penetrate through walls. And sun's infrared rays interfere with these rays. But the infrared communication does not require any government permission for the application. So these infrared communications are used for small short distance communication. Previously most of the mobiles used to have infrared communication to transfer files between the mobile systems. Nowadays you use Bluetooth, because infrared waves are not that much powerful, so they cannot penetrate walls. So the best example of this infrared waves are in your remote controls. Whenever you switch on your TV and change the channels, that remote uses infrared communication. If you place a notebook or your hand in between your television and the remote control, it will not operate, because it cannot penetrate that much thickness. Okay, so this type of communication is very useful. It is used in various applications, infrared communication, but it is short distance. Okay, next we have radio waves. These are used to transmit radio and television programs. Wi-Fi uses radio signals to transmit data among the connected devices. Third, we have microwaves. These are high frequency waves used to transmit data wirelessly over long distances. These are used in mobile phone calls. And at the end we have satellite communication. It is a special case of microwave relay system It uses the synchronous satellites to relay the radio signal transmitted from the ground station. These are used for transmission across geographical boundaries. This type of communication is omnidirectional and it can penetrate through buildings. So, satellite communication is used when you have to reach across geographical boundaries. If you have to cover very long distances in 1000 kilometers, so you cannot lay optical fibers there. Suppose we have to connect in a hilly area, then then you will feel a lot of problem to dig down and put the optical fiber cables there. So you will use satellite communication. Here the signals are transmitted from the ground station at the earth, and those signals are received by the satellites, and that signal is relayed, and then that signal goes to the destination system. Clear? This type of communication is omnidirectional, okay, and it is very high frequency, so it can penetrate through buildings. Okay, so if there are lots of buildings around your area, so this type of communication, the speed will not get affected due to their presence. Okay, so these are the types of transmission media, guided and unguided. So let us summarize our discussion up to this point only, because this is a very large unit. So in this video lesson we will discuss only up to the transmission media. I think all the points discussed in this video lesson are clear to you, and you are getting an idea about the basic idea about these terms that we have discussed. Again, I want to tell you that this network concept is a very deep topic. Every topic in this, if you go to, suppose you take infrared, then it will take you a month to learn and discuss about these terms related to any of these technologies. But we have focused ourselves about only to the introduction part, so that if a theoretic question related to infrared or radio waves or satellite communication comes in your board examinations, you are able to write a short note on it. Okay, you will not be asked about these concepts in depth, but you must have some idea about these terms. Okay, so in this video lesson we will just cover up to transmission media, and in the next video lesson we will be covering about the terminologies related to network. Okay, so see you there.